Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. Bonkykook here, aka the Lonely Achievement God, and today I am going to be showing you the expert mode method for getting the achievements in Wilmot's warehouse. I had initially chosen to not show you the entirety of an expert mode playthrough because the expert mode playthrough is a lot of waiting around. However, the more I thought about it, the more I decided I should show off the expert mode on the off chance that my pause glitch that I discovered ever gets patched out of the game. The expert mode will be the easiest method to get all of the achievements. So having it there on the off chance the other methods get removed is a good idea. So it will save me from having to do a lot of editing in the future should the other methods be removed. So the expert mode and re-rolling deliveries will be covered in this playthrough. However, I do recommend if the pause glitch exists and you don't have any aversion to using an exploit such as that, I would recommend using that. The pause glitch is basically the expert mode, except you can skip the service phase. So, in reality, you could just look at the pause glitch and not skip the service phase and get the entirety of the expert playthrough. But I will be showing you two different things in this playthrough. We will be covering, hi kitty, how are you? We will be covering the expert mode as a starting point. So if you load this game up with 0 out of 1,000 GamerScore and are looking to get the 1,000 as soon as possible, I will show you the method for doing that. And then I will also probably have a separate video actually showing the way to use the expert mode for 1 or 2 items. Because the strategy for doing that is a little bit different. Hold on a sec. My cat decided to grace me with her presence, so I need to move a few things around. So, what we are going to do is start a new game, play single player, go to expert mode. I am not going to be using any of the modifiers here. The reason being, excuse me, sorry about that. The only difference between expert mode, or the only reason people use expert mode, for the most part, but there's two, really. You enjoyed the game and want to give yourself more of a challenge, or if you are, the reason I stumbled upon the expert mode method is the service phases are 23 seconds shorter, so you don't have to wait around as much if you are looking for a specific item. So, as I said, you will be doing a lot of waiting in this playthrough, and I am not learned enough with video editing to be able to edit that stuff out yet. I hope to start learning that stuff in the future, but for the time being, all of these parts of the playthrough will be unedited, and so there will be, I will probably try to tell you before I go silent, because once we get through the first couple of quarters, everything is exactly the same. You are just repeating the same process over and over and over again, and there won't be a lot of things for me to add, but I will be including the entire playthrough just so you guys can see exactly what happens and how you should handle it if you're starting from scratch. Unfortunately, with the expert mode playthrough, you will not be getting enough stars to unlock the map or time lapse or any of those cool features that would make it simpler for me to show to you. In order to get the time lapse, I would probably need to play for like 2 or 3 quarters in order to get it, and I'm not going to bother doing that. So there's no way for me to offer you a time lapse of this playthrough. I am going to be in this one specifically showing you exactly how you will use the expert mode to shorten the time you need to get through the game. Again, assuming the pause glitch doesn't exist, because the pause glitch is faster. So, what I'll probably do is I'll put a notation in here, and I need to learn how to use the video editor, but I will probably use the last year or so to demonstrate how to use the expert mode just to get one item. Because the process is fairly similar. It just comes down to you basically don't sort any of the deliveries. So it can be difficult if I tried to start doing that. It would be a mess to try to clean up. So I'll probably put a link somewhere that will bring you later on into the video so that you can watch that if that's what you are looking for. If you are looking to, well, probably a different video in all honesty, but if you are looking for the full playthrough of expert mode, we are going to begin right now. So here's what I recommend doing. Go down with your first delivery and head to the bottom here. If you press start during a delivery, it will automatically place the delivery down. So you do not have to wait. Go up here, grab the rows. For now, we are not worrying about groupings. We will at the end of our first quarter when we get to the stock phase. So go ahead and drop the first row off there. We're going to grab the second row from the opposite side and place it in front of the customer service window. What we are doing is we're not going to waste time trying to organize things so that we can easily deliver them. We are only going to deliver items for one service phase to get 6 stars. If you don't get 6 stars on the first service phase, then just reload. It'll save you a lot of trouble. So this is what we're going to do. There shouldn't be any issue with you not getting enough stars. So once you get these 20 items in front, I'm going to pop into here and stop the clock for a second. If you've followed my other videos, you know I use the right stick to grab all of the items. And this is what we're going to be doing in a second here. When we get to the time clock here, I'm going to hit A and it will advance us to the service phase. The customers show up in the window, but they will not grab any of these items unless they are in Wilmot's possession. So that's why I moved all these items up here, because once we open the customer service window to give items to the customers, we're going to go down and we're going to tap A and grab all of these items all the way through. And that should finish this phase super quickly. There are 2 problems that could occur. I hope they occur in the video so that I can you'll see what I mean. But there is a chance that, say, these 2 items are needed by a customer. They will disappear and you will not be able to grab the items over here. So you'll just have to run over to this other group and start grabbing items. And the other issue is if customer wants one of the items down here. So you just have to run and grab and bring them up into the nook. So I will go ahead and do that. And see, it happened already. And the last one we need is over here. So yeah, make sure you use the A button to pick things up. If you use the X button, it will stop at your strength limit. You can also use the right analog, which I do recommend, although it doesn't really matter here. You can pick up the items faster with the A button. And you're not looking for precision here. So that ends the phase significantly faster than trying to sort the delivery and then bringing the items to the customer, because we're just going to be sorting these items out of the way in a second anyways. So once you're done with that phase, you can head over to the time clock and turn it in. As you can see, we got more than 6 stars, and so we are done delivering items to customers for the rest of the game. At this point, keep in mind, any items that come into the warehouse for groupings, we got 2 from that delivery, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We have 8 items currently in the warehouse related to groupings. It's a good idea to keep that in mind, especially this first quarter, because we will not, I repeat, we will not be worrying about any of it until the first stock take phase. So go ahead, press start, skip the delivery, hit A on the time clock. You can hit A again to skip it. And now we have to wait. That is interesting. Why is it not? So I was wrong this whole time. Even though... So I will admit to an error. So even though this says 25% less time for delivery phases, it means the service phase. So you do want to have this setting on 25% less time. I apologize for that. I'm going to have to find wherever I've said that in other videos and edit that, because even though, as you can see, the dialogue writing there says it's just in delivery phases, it affects the service phase time as well. So I apologize for that. I'll try to put a notation at the beginning of this video so that you know that. Make sure your sorting time is 25% less time. I assumed it was automatically 25% less in expert mode for service phases, but it is not. And I never noticed that before now. So, I apologize for that, but we will continue on here. So we have to just sit here and wait. So, you know, you can do whatever you want. If you want to go through the delivery and sort the items out for groups, you can do that. So the butterfly is for the insect group. Actually, I don't think the paint can is for a group. I also can't pick it up for some reason. That was weird. You do want to be careful grabbing items in here on the off chance one of the items you grab is something a customer wants. It may disappear, and if it's the only item for a grouping that, well, say it's the only 2 bug or bee butts you have, if they disappear, then you have to wait for them to be delivered. So it's best not to worry about that right now. You can do it if you want to. I will be showing you how to do it in another month here. So CJ is mad. It doesn't matter. You will still get all of the story achievements, even if you fail every single phase. Compass. Okay, so the compass, real quick. Lots of people have said the compass works in the sea, Call of the Sea. I don't remember what the exact title of the grouping is. It's the sea grouping. I was unable to get it to work in any of my groupings. I did include it on my list on my website, but it has not ever worked for me. So I did include it on the off chance it would work for you, but I wouldn't rely on it. We got an apple slice, so we're already 3 items for the apple group. We got a watch, which will work in the time grouping. And we got that thing, which doesn't mean anything. Once again, press start to skip the phase. To get the delivery down so we can skip the phase. Skip ahead, and now we wait 1 minute and 7 seconds again. Already got a paintbrush. Don't want to grab that paintbrush. Got the hat, I think. That might be everything that's not from the deliveries down here now. Okay. So you can... there are a few different ways to approach this, and I know there's a lot of wasted time here, and I'm going to show you the different ways over the next few quarters that you can try to do this. It's going to depend on whether you want to sit around or whether you want to risk trying to do everything, in a minute and 7 seconds. There will be some phases where you are unable to do that, but it might save you some time as well. So I'll give you what the options I would use, and you can decide for yourself how you prefer to do it. Okay, so we're at the first upgrade screen, and this is where you are going to purchase Rotate, and this will be the only upgrade you purchase for your entire playthrough. It will make the game significantly easier to be able to rotate the stacks of blocks you pick up. This would be incredibly difficult to do without purchasing this, so go ahead and buy it. That is the last thing we will be doing in the upgrade screen, so head back to work. And now you have an unlimited stock take phase. The stock take deliveries are unique. There are 30 items in a stock take, but they are all items you already have in the warehouse. So if you are keeping up on a month-to-month basis on the new items, you will never have to worry about the stock take deliveries for looking for new grouping items. Okay, so now that we have this all sorted out, we're going to use this to sort our deliveries. So I got a paintbrush. The tent is not for anything. The gnome, I call it a gnome, maybe it's a rocket, is not for anything. We already got a bug butt, and we got that. So we will move these blocks over here and get them out of the way. Pretty sure I got a hat, right? Yeah. We got the paintbrush. We don't need a comb. Okay. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I tend to grab the items in groups of 6. It just is how I do it. You can do whatever you want. And then we got that, and this, surprisingly, is not part of the hardware category, and I don't know why. But we don't have 6 items there, so I'm just going to leave those 4. And now we'll go through the deliveries. So that's for an apple, that's for an apple. So we'll pull those out. Well, we already had the seeds, so. We got everything there. This will be the biggest struggle. Is this first stock take? We need that for the bugs grouping if we don't already have one. Okay. We already have 3 of the bugs then. Again, I tend to keep to groups of 6. Once you start, once you learn the pattern of how this game works, it does tend to go faster, but there's also more to keep an eye on and more things around you, so in some ways it balances out in terms of how much time you're going to be spending sorting. Okay, what's the next delivery? We will grab a compass. We'll grab the watch. Got an apple. And I think that's all. So we'll bring these up. That'll get us an apple. Put the compass over there for part of the C, and we will put the watch over here for part of the time. We will grab our 2 blocks down here, and we will start sorting. So, I think that'll be it. So now we just focus on sorting our items here, and this is how I kind of do it. From this point on, I do recommend sorting one delivery at a time instead of making it back up. You can get away with doing it this first time. You can get away with doing it and not paying attention to anything the first couple of months, but you don't want to push it off too much, because if it backs up too high, then I like to fill in the bottom first and then work my way up, and if you fill it up too high, it becomes more difficult to do the bottom. So I tend to do it like this. Where I will fill in these start along the top from the pillar over and down and work my way back, and then work my way up the middle here and do the same thing on the other side. And then I start letting the deliveries build up a little bit. And then so that the deliveries come up to here, and then it's easier to grab the top delivery and go to the second pillar and start down from there and repeat the process. So that's how I do things. Again, you can do things however you want as far as sorting these out of the way. The important thing to know is if you do this for an entire playthrough, you will probably be up to about here as far as having space to move around. That entire arc that I just ran is probably where your items will back up to by the end of the game. So you're definitely going to want to make sure you're filling in every block at the bottom. What I tend to do with the deliveries is because they are 5 blocks wide, here I give an extra block on each side and then fill in straight up. So there's 5 on this side and I think 6 on this side, because the warehouse isn't evenly divided. So, but once we get there, you'll see what I mean. So we're done with the stock take. We have all our items sorted, and this is where I'm going to delve into the first strategy for trying to do this. So go ahead, do this expert mode method. Go ahead and advance using the time clock. And now we're just going to sit here. We would have had way too much to do during this service phase, so there was no way we were going to sort everything before the minute and 7 seconds were done. So for this service phase, we're just sitting here, and from the following 2, I will be showing you a method of using the service phases to sort everything to save yourself some time just sitting here waiting for the clock to run down. You can also do what I just did and skip everything and then sort everything during the stock takes. That is the other way to do things. It will take you a little bit more time to do that, though. It will be a little less stressful, I think, but it will be less time spent in the game. I won't be doing 2 full playthroughs based on both of those methods. That would it would be way too redundant to be useful. And we failed. Hooray! Okay. So, we will not get any stars. We will advance to the next month and get a manifest here. That is a bug item. That is a bug item. That is nothing, and that is a bug item. So this will be fairly simple. What we are going to do is pause the game to get the delivery down. We are going to advance to the service phase. We are going to run down here. We only need 1 bug item, but in theory, we would be grabbing 3 of them to bring up. You'd grab all of the delivery items right here. That's interesting. That didn't work. Okay, so one of those is not working for us, so we will have to grab another, and our entire plan is ruined now. I will not have enough time to sort this delivery. Oh, I'm a dummy. I know why. I apologize for that. I already have the achievement. It's not going to unlock. That is my bad. So, this is what you would be trying to do before the time ran out. Yeah, that's my fault, guys. I forgot that I didn't have the, or already had the achievements on this account. So, we'll get another manifest. And we have a couple more items that we can grab. We're going to skip the delivery. I will run up and skip the delivery phase. And we will run down and try to grab the items that we got in. So we got... I think everything we got is on the other side. We got that, which is a hardware item, and we got an apple. So we will get the apple up here, which would be our fourth apple item, and that goes with hardware. And now we are going to focus on moving our deliveries out of the way. Which again, if you stay on top, you will have enough time to do all 5 rows. But if something screws up, or you're an idiot like I am, you may run into a situation where you're running out of time. The good news is... Oh, come on, game. The good news is that after every 3 deliveries, you get a stock take, which is untimed, so you can catch up if something went poorly for you, like it did for me. We're not even gonna bother. Now we're at a stock take. We will not have enough stars to upgrade anything, so you can just press A when you get in. We'll bring you back to work. And real quick, we will run over things now that we are untimed again. So, once you get the groupings, as I'm an idiot and was like, why isn't it popping? Well, it's because I already have the achievement. But the achievement would have popped here. So now we don't need this. Once the achievement pops, you can return the items into the piles down here. You do not need to keep the grouping items separate up here once you get the achievement. So, we're going to sort these back in to our groups over here. And then we will, we only need 1 more hardware item. We only have 2 other groups to keep an eye on. It is recommended that you have my website open on the achievement list page for Wilmot's Warehouse. I have all of the groupings set up. So you will have a list for all 22 groupings achievements. I have memorized them by now because I've gone over this through this game so many times. So it's not really fair for me to show off like this. Show off, you just forgot that you had achievements, you idiot. But it's not fair to me because I already know what groupings go in what, or what items go in what grouping. So I don't need to stop and pause the game and make sure what items are coming in. So that is something you should have up as a reference. So that when the items come in, you know exactly what you need. As I said, it's a little unfair showing off right now because I already know that this watch is in a grouping, or, you know, the bug is in a grouping, or the paintbrush is in a grouping. I have the groupings mostly memorized, except for the pattern ones, because the pattern ones are iffy. So that's what you're going to do if you ever mess up. You'll use the stock take phase to catch up and continue on. And we're going to try to get a clean month here. Unfortunately, we'll have a minute and 7 seconds here where we don't have anything going on, so I will extrapolate on these groupings a bit. Like the hardware one here, there are like 17 or 16 different hardware items that you can get. Whereas the, let's see, the time one, I believe, only has 4 or 5. As I did say, I've memorized every grouping. I can't remember exactly how many items are in each grouping, but I will be able to tell you when they pop up if they are part of a grouping. So the hardware has like 15, 16, 17, but the time one only has 4 or 5. So, but that doesn't indicate rarity. You know, some of these tiles just have shown up a lot more for me than they have for others, especially the hardware ones. The hardware ones have, like, over half of them I didn't even see through most of my playthroughs, so I don't know what that means. I think it's mostly just luck of the draw. So we'll get our manifest here. That's nothing, that's nothing. That's an apple that we already got, and that is a drain pipe. So none of the items in this next delivery are necessary for a grouping, so that's a good way to show off that if you don't need any items, you can just go straight into sorting and getting them out of the way. And we'll see how much time we have left. That'll give you an idea of how much time it'll take you to sort. I do try to do one side at a time, just so then once we get this side built up, then I'll do the right side over there. So we had 35 seconds. It'll probably be closer to 25, especially if you're bringing them all the way. But that gives you 20 to 25 seconds to go through each delivery, sort out the items you need for groupings, and bring them up top here, which can be pretty tight. You know, I'm not gonna, lie to you and say that it's gonna be, you're always gonna be able to do that, but you will have the stock takes available to catch up if you fall behind. But the other method is literally just sitting here without doing anything in the service phases, and then spending the extra time in the stock take to do everything, which would probably double your playing time. None of those are anything, so that was a waste. So we will just move along here. Get everything sorted, and then that will be the end of quarter number 3. For those of you that are interested, I think, obviously I can't do that, well, probably not obviously to you, but I cannot show off the re-rolling strategy this next delivery, but I will do it in the following one, so the November delivery. I will show you how to re-roll. So we'll just, there's still going to be time where you're just sitting here not doing anything, but so we're going to just wait it out. We'll get the stock take. We'll sort that delivery. We'll wait the next service phase out, and then I will show you how to re-roll your deliveries. Re-rolling deliveries really should only be used for 2 different methods. So if you get a finch or a banana tile, which can't show up yet in our game, they don't show up till the 2nd year. If you get one of them, drop everything you are doing, re-roll your deliveries until the other tiles show up. Those 2nd, 3rd, and 4th ones in those groupings. I cannot overstate that enough. As much as I love this game, excuse me. As much as I love this game and want everyone to experience it in its full glory, I wasted so many hours trying to get the finches and bananas legitimately. I wasted 4 hours trying to get the bananas with my glitch, even with the glitch, and re-rolling deliveries. The bananas took 15 playthroughs to show up for me, and that's including re-rolling them. But I never even saw a banana for another 15 playthroughs in order to try re-rolling. So do not push it off. You may cost yourself another 10 hours or more. I was over 50 hours into the game and still hadn't gotten the Finch's grouping, which is what led me to delve more into this game. So now we got a service phase where we will do nothing. When we get down to right after the phase ends, so once the shutter closes, pause the game. And I'll demonstrate why in this right here. Pause the game. You can see in the bottom right hand corner the game saves. We're basically making a save, checking the delivery, and then quitting out of the game and coming back in. And we'll be right in front of the delivery, right before the delivery shows up. Again, the manifest specifically, and we will see if the 4 new items are the ones we want. So, in theory, if we had a banana tile and we are trying to get the second banana tile in this next delivery, we're going to check the manifest. And if we don't get a second banana tile and the 4 new items, we use the guide button to quit out of the game, and we reload the game until the banana tile shows up. So go ahead and just sit here. After that closes, hit start to pause the game and resume. And we will look for a banana tile, which of course will not show up because we can't have them yet. But 1, 2, 3, there are no bananas. So what we're going to do, and this is why it's called re-rolling the deliveries. Go to the guide, press the start button. I don't know what it's called anymore. I still call it the start button on Wilmot's warehouse. Go down to quit. Hit A, then immediately relaunch the game. On the Xbox Series X, this is very quick. It only takes you about 30 seconds to re-roll a delivery. And 30 seconds to re-roll is significantly faster than 50 hours trying to get a Finch. So once you load back in, go to your save slot. You can just spam A, and it'll bring you back in. And you are right back to where the items are. As you can see, some of them are the same, but they do change. I will say that if you re-roll deliveries, you will repeat items a lot more than you should if the game is pulling from the entirety of the 500 items the game has. Obviously, for a playthrough, you only get 200. So I don't think the items are pre-selected, obviously, because you can re-roll the deliveries to get different ones. But I also don't think it is always drawing from all 500 items. Or if it is very heavily weighted to some items over others. Because if we re-rolled deliveries like 10 times, you would probably see repeat items in 9 out of the 10 deliveries, if not more than one repeat item. So that's why you don't want to re-roll to get an item. For example, you don't want to start re-rolling before a banana or Finch shows up. But once a banana or Finch shows up, the game tends to weight bringing you items that are related to your groupings. So that's why we have so many Apple items and hardware items already, despite the fact we're only at 40 out of the 500 total items in the game. The game is like, oh, he has hardware items. Okay, we'll give him some more. That seems to be how the game handles the deliveries. And that's why, but if you are re-rolling the deliveries, it could be a monumental waste of time if you don't already have one of the items in your warehouse. So, using the expert method to get all of the items, you are basically going to play through the game and hope that a banana or a finch shows up and focus on every other grouping along the way. If a banana or finch shows up, start re-rolling your deliveries until the second one and the third one and the fourth one show up through consecutive months. I recommend trying like 5 to 10 times, and if you don't get the item, just move to the next delivery. That seemed to work out better for me. I got luckier that way, but it may not have anything to do with it. You might have the same chance just re-rolling 20 to 30 times instead of moving on to a new delivery. It's a little bit confusing because I don't know how the game handles it, so I can just speculate and tell you what I have noticed in my 150 playthroughs. So, as much as I would love you to play this game legitimately, I don't want anyone to suffer through the 30 hours of trying to get a finch to show up like I did. So, this is, if the pause glitch does get eliminated, this is the best method. And unfortunately, if the game, the dev ever decides that you shouldn't be allowed to save and re-roll the deliveries, then you are just going to have to rely on RNG. And I wish you the best of luck. Excuse me. So let's see, where are we at? We're at 41 minutes here. I think that's probably a good point to stop. We've gone over re-rolling. We've gone over the basic strategies. For the rest of the game, it's going to be a lot of repetition. And I will interject at points when there is something that needs to be said. But for the most part, from this point on in this playthrough, I will be relatively quiet. Insert applause here. So I appreciate you guys taking the time to check out my videos. I will have links in the description to all the other content I am doing, and I will see you guys next time.